Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's the winners match here of Group A. Serral in the bottom left side of the map, going for an early extractor trick, as is standard when he's playing against Protoss. His opponent in the top right, it is Classic, who's gone for a somewhat early probe here across Tokamak. Now, Serral appears to be going for the potential 15 hatchery. If he sends a drone down right now, I feel like he can start this before the probe gets there. Classic may not have timed this out on this map. Serral does not build his 16th worker, and he should get that down just in time. Nice play for Serral. If he didn't see a probe, he would have built one more drone before starting the hatchery, but goes for it a bit earlier to stop that probe from blocking him, and I think he feels really good about that, as Classic had to send a separate probe to build the gateway. So one probe to go scout after pylon, and another one to build the gateway, and it does feel like an advantaged start for Serral to start things off. I think on a big map like this, you got to send that probe across with a 13 pylon, or even earlier pre-pylon, if you want to ensure you get that block down. And even then, the thing is, Serral is capable of going for a 15 hatchery before Overlord, in which case I believe it's unblockable unless you're maybe on a really small map. Now you can see the exact dance. We were just watching the interview of Serral talking about how he does get annoyed at these probe harass, but Classic makes a mistake and accidentally finishes harvesting 5 minerals, so he can no longer harass the minerals. He's just going to have to attack the drone. That's tempting. The way that probe is attacking from the inside of the mineral line, it's tempting to pull those 5 or 6 workers and attack it. But Serral resists, manages to contain his frustration, and just stay focused on the prize. Classic's gone for the Nexus, second gas pylon, very straight up opening so far. Now Classic, I think he has good success when there's like a nice timing attack. In this matchup, he can gear towards. I'm not sure that's the best way to play PvZ right now. I actually think just dragging it out to late game might be a bit better, but I know he was really big on Colossus timings for a while, and pretty much no Zerg could beat him except Serral. And there's been a lot of 3-0s, 3-1s for Serral over Classic over the last few years, where it really felt like Serral was just his own race, right? He's a fourth race. He doesn't play the same as a normal Zerg. He's so good at responding. And we'll see what Classic can bring out to try and test Serral. Bring him to the edge and bring him to that extreme situation. Looking at the cameras of both players, it is kind of fascinating to see the focus on both of their faces. Serral has got that super determined look in his face. There's always an almost angry level of determination to Serral. It's that hyper-competitive energy. Makes me think of looking at like a Novak Djokovic or someone like this, where you look at their face and you're like, this guy is kind of a psycho. Like, in a good way, you know? It's good to put that into your competitive energy. I mean, if you want to be the best in the world at something, you kind of have to be a little bit more single-minded and obsessive over something than most people. And that's what Serral most certainly is. Famous for having one of the most entertaining live streams out there. Oh, okay, not happy with that. Rallying a drone past the Adept, unnecessarily greedy, and he gets it caught. Not able to build a spore in time. Great start here for Classic, who had some really good Adept starts recently in this matchup. 12 Zerglings, even 14, right? He's building 2 more. Might look for a cancel on the third base. If he can hide these lings from the Oracle, he's going to go out that left side. Great move for Serral. Oracle coming in the right. 2 queens are ready for it. Does he see where it's coming from? The Oracle steers left and then turns around to go home. I think this is a good choice to send that Oracle back. These Adepts not in the greatest position right now. Very surroundable. I mean, there's still like, I feel like 4 or 5 lings can hit them from there, but with the Oracles nearby, I guess it's good enough. You just need to make sure they're not fully surrounded. They will be okay. Depth is on kind of the left side of this choke point as well, but I think that's good enough. Don't think lings will slide through. Alright, lings threatening. Extra depth warps in, but as I said, pretty good surface area. 4 or 5 lings attacking at a time. And with the Oracles moving across the map, the warped in Adept goes down, the other one at the front goes down. Now it looks like it's going to be 2, 3 Adepts falling, and the Oracle's forced back. Fantastic assault by Serral. He has another Spore Crawler behind on his third. He's only on 5 queens, so he has skimped on the queen production. Queens are, of course, a little more expensive these days. 275 minerals for a hatchery there, discounted, but queens are up to 175, a premium for this early game defensive unit. Lair has now started for Serral. And are we going to see an Evo chamber? We haven't seen him play too much fast melee recently, and it looks like this is no exception. Extra gas Roach Warren. Earlier today, there was a lot of big Roach Ravager Queen pushes out of Serral. Does he once again go for it? Now, one of the things I've been missing is non-Overlord speed Queen walks. Like, just early game, just shove your Queens across the map. We so rarely see it anymore. And I think it's a big part of the meta that's maybe missing for Zerg players in this matchup. Of course, the maps are a bit big to get across, so hard to do. Oh, Oracle's going for the stasis traps there. That one's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, it's going to go down. Serral does get a few workers frozen, but it's worth it to get so much damage on these Oracles. One going down, one dying. And Oracle's going to fall back. Keep in mind, guys, hot tip, there is a Protoss player on this map. If you guys haven't watched before, Tokamak, you can see there's actually... That is Classic down there playing the game. Serral's on the other side over here, but we don't have vision of him right now. Lings are coming in. Stalker Adept hanging out. Shield battery goes up on the third base. This is a very early 6 gas, so Classic probably going to drop a Templar Archives and go Storm next. 6-gate Storm, incredibly solid. It is the popular style right now, especially against these early Hydra builds. Even though there was a Roach Warren, this was a safety Roach Warren for Serral. He almost never skips that. But if he can get away with not using it, doesn't even make Roach speed right now, that's actually great. Go straight to Hydraling, the more flexible, fast-paced units. And what I've really enjoyed in Serral's play, I think other players have tried to do it, but no one's done it as well as Serral, is he's countering Psystorm with Zergling Micro, which sounds insane and unreasonable, but that is the level of execution you get with Serral. I think Rain has done a pretty good job in a few games of his as well. Very few players able to do that, but if you just have Ling Hydra, it's very fragile to splash damage like Storms. But as long as you just micro really well, have really fast units with heavy Zerglings to jump on top, you can often set off those Storms, bait them out without really eating them too much and kind of dodge and weave and duck through and manage to avoid the worst of it. Stalker's on the right causing a lot of aggression. Oh, the Ling response was so quick there for Serral. Meanwhile, on the right side, gets a stasis trap and a few Lings and a Queen, but I think Serral's avoiding the worst of it, and his supply is looking very impressive. He's on 72 workers. Ling's killer probe that moves out to take a 4th as well. Serral all over it so far. And if he can defend this, he's got a Hive on the way. He could take these gases on this 4th base. And the Lings chasing down, setting off the stasis traps. It's going to be a recall. I feel like maybe he should have waited for Blink and then recall. 2 Stalkers do go down. Units lost tab in favor of Serral massively. And you can see those little details stacking up. Serral's both got a scary Hydra Ling force moving across the map. And he's going to a massive macro lurker setup at the same time. This is not a real commitment. It is him just seeing if he can find damage. 87 workers will be the next step. Storm is not quite ready, but enough zealots there to force Serral back. Overseer comes in. Oh, he contaminates it a second after Storm's finished. And he's going to think there's no Storm right now. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate for Serral. If he picks a fight right now, but I think he realizes, look, I don't have enough Hydras. It's not a good idea. That's fortunate, because if he thought he did like delayed Storm, and then he clumps up and dives in, it would have been really, really funny for the Protoss player. All right, Hatchery's going to go down as well. Zealot, Stalker, Archon coming forwards. Fleet Beacon's already on the way, along with the second Stargate for Classic. Serral's ahead of the curve. Lurkers are fantastic Hive Tech. He's going to try and get to them. High Templars in here. The Hydras are well spread. Is he going to save the Hatchery? No way! If he can overwhelm this army, it's good. But right now, remember, Serral was incredibly greedy. The Hatchery goes down. He's got 14 more Hydras. He does bait the Storms out, but great move. Classic gets the 4th base. Knocks Serral back to 3 bases. Unfortunately for him, his High Templar are caught out in the open, and Serral will not let him leave. Not without paying a hefty price. But Storm is going to be back in a few seconds. One of those Storms is ready. A lot of that army's gone down, though, for Classic. These are not cheap trades for the Protoss, but I think they're good enough as the Zealot Oracle runs through the left side as well. Stalkers will take out an Overlord on the right. He's just going to clear up a little bit of creep over here. Not a bad move. I definitely think clearing creep is very important. And bringing the Observer over will help him with that. Unfortunately, Observer goes towards Overseer Hydra. Maybe not his best. And double Tempest production on the way for Classic. Twitch chat says, oh no, he's going Lurkers. Is Serral making the same mistake again? I think the only mistake is I don't know. I wouldn't call that a mistake. I'd say losing this base. Letting Classic get as deep as he did. I think Lurkers are fantastic, but having given up his economic advantage, he's got a lot of workers that aren't really doing much right now. And that's a big problem. I think he would have had enough Lurkers out early enough to do some fearsome pushes, but now that Tempests are on the map, 2 of them out, 2 more building, as long as there's a good amount of Storm energy in reserve, which looks like there is 3 on the right, 2 on the left, I do think Classic's now stabilized in the late game, and Serral's going to have to do some heavy lifting. Now, Serral has shown that he can beat the best players in the world in late game in this matchup, despite it being quite Protoss favored. Prism does go down. Wow, gets a full Prism. I mean, Serral's multitasking, his ability to use spellcasters, to use all those fancy tools, second to none. I feel like when I watch most Zergs go to late game, I hang my head in shame and I go, what are you doing, dude? Do you not want to win? When I watch Serral go to late game, I go, does this Protoss, is he the best Protoss in the world in late game? Because if not, I always feel like Serral's usually favored there, but we'll see what happens. Class, if you can sandwich these lurkers, could be good, but the reinforcements are here, and that's actually going to end up. Oh, he thought he was flanking. The hunter becomes the hunted. He's getting jumped on, but the zealots cleanse the lurkers and the hydras. Wow, great move by Classic. He does lose a few units, but he's going to be taking a lot of damage on that base. Tempest starting to clear those lurkers. If Classic can defend that base, I think this is all A-okay for him. But that is a big if right now, as those lurkers are putting spines into the bottom of that nexus, and that is a lot of damage going down. Oh, he attacks his own Overseer. Serral, easy there, bud. Nexus does go down to the lurkers. Hydra goes after the Oracle. Tempest blasting it down. And that Oracle with the Revelation is going to say, get out of here, silly Zerg boy. Serral gets a Nexus, but he does lose a lot of units in the process. Lurkers in the bottom right side. They're going to escape for a moment. Zealots leaving, none of them to get home. One on deep red, looks like he's there, but the Zealots really want it so badly. Pulls back at the last second. It is a 1 hit point lurker survive. Gold base getting denied at the same time. Ling's trying to run in the left side with a few lurkers. The cannons are deflecting it so far. He can siege these from range, but it's going to be hard to break through. Classic playing an excellent late game, and it does feel like Classic is all over this now. Surviving on 4 bases, up to 80 workers. That snipe on the third or the fourth earlier was such a brilliant move. And I think it set him up for so much success in the next step. Serral reeling against Classic. Classic looking so good in this game. Remember, Serral struggled in his earlier PvZ series, and Classic's just all over it. Tempest, Storm, Arc on such a good army. Hydra's struggling against this. He does have a few upgrades, but he doesn't quite have the high-tech upgrade, the Frenzy for those Hydras just yet. And it would actually be kind of useful in this situation. Spy is coming in. He's going to try and build Corruptors to deal with those Tempests, but Classic is just rich. He's got all the pieces on the board. He's got the fancy little tools that he needs. And as his 4th base rebuilds, he can get that gas count back up. He's definitely got the army that looks like it should trade much better in the long term. Ling's hiding in the top right. We'll be able to deny this Nexus temporarily, assuming Serral's watching, which he's not. Nexus actually gets placed. Serral turns around and says, hey, hold on a second. Remember, no melee upgrades. These Lings really aren't that effective. No burrow either, so no way to hide. There was observers with the army, so it wouldn't have worked either way. 4 Corruptors being built. No air upgrades on those Corruptors. This hatchery seems like the long shot of all long shots. Zealots going down the left also seems... So right now, Serral has 2 problems, guys. He can't really split enough units to deal with these Zealots unless he sees them far ahead of time. He has no money for spines on the left. He doesn't really have enough Corruptors to deal with the Tempest and the Mothership just yet. I think he really wants to get... Yeah, he's about to be hit 15. He'll have enough Corruptors soon. He's got to buy a bit of time. He's also low on Lurkers. He only has 6 Lurkers to deal with the Archon High Templar. So he's just spread thin. Yeah, Bilbo Baggins right now. You know, it's like butter on too much bread. And that is not a situation you want, especially if that's like a couple days old, that bread. It gets dry. It gets crusty, man. Corruptors try to chase, but they can't get much. Hydras get diverted to the left. Serral can't chase him down. Loses yet another hatchery, and Classic casually rotates to try and pick off some more hatcheries. He's mixing Void Rays in. Now, Void Ray is very weak to Vipers and Infestors. There's no Spellcasters on the board for Serral. And I do think Serral does his best work when he's using Spellcasters in the late game. He's an absolute wizard when it comes to abducting units and picking them off. Classic is struggling to take a 5th base right now. It is the Max Pax conundrum. If you guys remember a year or 2 ago, Max Pax got ahead every single game he played against Serral on the ladder, and in not in tournaments, but on the ladder. And then he would just never be able to secure a 5th base. Like, every Serral stream was him running into Max Pax on the ladder, going, oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm so dead. I'm screwed. And then he'd win like 35 minutes in, and he'd be like, wow, he never got a 5th base. Okay, cool. and that was like a problem Max Pax ran into it for a long time. Classic's running into that problem here. You know, he's trying to be aggressive and kind of be the one mopping up the Zerg creep, but he's losing a base yet again. Does get another hatchery snipe. You could argue, oh, he got a hatchery snipe, but remember, I do think getting that 5th base may be a bit more important for Protoss than it is for Zerg right now. He could recall on this army. Zealots are there. There's a few High Templar. Energy Recharge going to do well. Does get a nice Storm on the Lurker Hydra, but the High Templar get left out front at the same time. Zealots at the bottom right side. Queen Lurker defending on the left side. Mothership does do a cloaky cloak. He's going to go for the recall. Does not want to lose that Nexus. Bottom right side. Zealots do run away. Hydraling Lurker will deal with it. Nice play by Serral. And I think once you get the multitasking and things get really technical with the army movement, this is also where Serral does his best work. Not just spellcasters, but army movement. I do think now he's maxed. He's got gas. Air upgrades are very behind for him. but he's getting them. And most importantly, he's got to get a Viper or two in the mix. 1 or 2 Vipers. Whenever Classic is moving around this slow, clunky air army, you're going to pick a Tempest off. You're going to pick off an Archon or an Immortal. It's going to happen. If base now tries to go up on this side. Lings do reveal themselves a bit too early, though. I think Serral needs to get out of there. Go hide in the top left. And he needs to hit this right side to really pull the Protoss out of position. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to dive the right. He's making a lot more lurkers. He's got 14 on the map. So he's got 7 lurkers on the left, 7 lurkers on the right, some Hydras, some Lings, some Corruptors. He's adding melee upgrades as well. He's only on +2 range. No other Evo Chamber upgrades. Lurkers running on that left side. Oh, I don't know about this one. Yeah, he sees the army and he immediately pulls back. Good choice. He's going to start sieging. On the right side, Classic's doing what we call the brick of cannon defense, guys. This is where you basically say, I want to defend just with static defense and 1 or 2 High Templar. Nothing else. Lurkers can outrange that. It does really slow down Serral's advance. The Corruptors, remember, only really good at killing the air units, not much else. If you have Mass Hydraling Lurker, you can kind of run in and kill cannons, but not with the Storm guarding it. You know, the Corruptors, of course, can't really do anything like that. Overseers trying to divert to the left side. Not in the right position, though. Corruptors struggling right now. Moving to the right. Classic. Wow. Okay, look at Serral's position. I mean, this is crazy high-level positioning for Serral. Will he actually find the engage? The Archons, though! The Archon Storm is a very real problem. The Finnish Phenom right now. He is digging for an opening that does not exist. Right now, Classic is rock. He is rock. He is granite. And Serral right now is there with his bare hands scrabbling away, trying to dig a hole. He's a man with a spoon, trying to get a hole in his prison cell. Will he be able to find an opening? Is he going to be able to Shawshank Redemption this? I do not know. Corruptor's trying to run forward. They do take out a few Tempests, but the Archons are going to land some big hits on them. If he can take Mama and then get out, it'd be nice. He does take out Mama. A lot of the Corruptors do survive. I say a lot. I mean, a lot of them died as well. He's trying to remax 16 Hydras, 9 Corruptors building. The Lurker positioning is pretty good. The Tempests keep on picking off Lurkers, and that is a real problem here. 4,000 resource lost advantage for Classic. Not nearly as big as you'd think it would be, but that is because Serral's army control is excellent. He's got Neuroparasite on the way as well. He wants to turn the Protoss units against themselves. He says the only thing that can is a Protoss, and the late game is another Protoss. So he's going to try and use Protoss against him. He's got to get rid of this Observer. Where are the Overseers? He's got more Overseers morphing, but those Observers giving great vision advantage, and Classic really using his army well. Lurker Harass on the top left, killing some Probes. Probes do run to that side. No Spines on this top left. Serral's going to lose some more Hatcheries. I think it's kind of a necessity in this situation that Zerg does not have the mobility to defend these Zealot Warpins. The Zealots are so cheap, whereas Hydras are much more expensive. And without the melee Carapace upgrades, you can't contest the Zealots with Zerglings. You have to use Hydras for it, and it just feels bad, man. Serral hanging on right now. And this is what's been so exciting recently, is watching Serral overcome so much adversity in this matchup specifically. I mean, it has been wild, right? Watching so many Zerg players are dying to 10 Blink Stalkers and 2 Oracles, right? How many times have we seen a legitimately top-tier Zerg player just died with the first Blink pressure? It never happens to Serral. He gruels his way into these long games, just fights hard, refuses to give up, and he's constantly moving and looking for openings. But only a single Viper, guys. Is one Viper going to be enough? I'm not sure about it. Viper's in the army with the Corruptors. Healed up a little bit. 25 Corruptors are here. He's already lost 7 Corruptors in the previous fight. For the Mothership and a couple of Tempests he killed, that's actually a great trade. So let's cancel a Hatchery again. Overlord does get damage. Oh, he gets a Tempest. Abducts another one. That's 2 Tempests down. Viper gets feedback, but only after landing a spell, which is good enough. Lurker Hydra tries to push the right, but it's so hard to push into these walls of cannons, and Classic's doing a great job of making it extra difficult. Zealots running on that left side does avoid the Lurkers. Defending Zealot run-bys with Lurkers is one of the most infuriating things in the world, guys. Because, you know, you got to burrow the unit to fight. You wish you just had some Lings and Hydras, but you can't really afford wasting supply on a significant amount of Ling Hydra. He has 3 Zerglings and 3 Hydras right now. Lurkers coming down that right side, going to get some good shots on the Probes, the Cannons. He will take a Storm, which will damage the Lurkers, but I don't think Serral cares that much. He's going to leave 1 Lurker there, slowly chipping away. He's going to start trying to think about clearing Cannons in the top left side. Bottom right side, Lurker Corruptor trying to fend off the Archon Immortal Tempest. Are there any Oracles? There's 2 Oracles in this army. There's a bit of tagging going down, and Recall is going to go on this top left side. Kind of funny to see a Recall for a single Lurker right there, but Classic no doubt going to revelate in a moment. Well, he waits for the Observer. He does resume mining. He's not only on 5 bases, this is his 6th base, guys, and Serral is only on 6 bases as well. So obviously that's terrible for Zerg. On the other hand, units lost tab only 6,000 apart, and it just feels like Serral will just hang out in a game where he's in an awful position. And he'll just wait, and he'll dig, and he'll look for those mistakes. Now, for him, the dream is remove the vision and then land good spells. Take a look at the vision. Classic. He has a Stalker there. He doesn't have much else. He's just got Oracle Revelation and Observers. He's just roaming and kind of using that active vision. Now, Serral's got some Changelings going in. I think that's an excellent idea. He's going to try and defend this left side with Lurkers. Does push back the Archons, but the Archons pull back quickly. Not many of them die, if any. Nidus Worm in the main base. Let's go to Classic's vision. Has Classic noticed? We're on his camera. He sees it. He sees it. He's going to warp in a couple of Zealots. He does not have a Dark Shrine, so he doesn't have a high damage unit. He's scrambling back to that main base. Remember, you already used Recall. This is Classic's view. He's adding a massive cannon battery in the top left at the same time. So Classic's keeping that kind of top-down view. He's not getting tunnel vision as a new Nidus Worm pops up. I'd love to see Serral hit the left side at the same time. He's not able to just yet. He's going to try and reassert a bit of control. He's got a respread creep as well, which is so difficult because Classic's just been keeping him trapped in his corner of the map. And oh god, he's got to get out. Unload, unload, go, 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 get out. Beautiful evacuation. If he did not unload, you could tell Classic was going to focus the Nidus and ruin him. But look at that. Corruptor's save. Hello, Mr. Protoss. I lured you out of position. Takes out a few of those big units. Does have to pull away from the time warp there. But excellent play. And once again, what do we call this Lurker, guys? This Lurker, you can kill him and a new one will arrive. His name is FU Protoss Lurker. That's, I don't know. He's basically the Classic's worst nightmare Lurker. He keeps hitting that gold base. He's just never being responded. Lings try to counter the top left, and Serral has his heart sink. He goes, oh my lord. Classic's not tunnel visioning. Classic's keeping a big top-down focus. He's putting cannon battery everywhere. He's Zealot harassing. Lurkers do sneak in the back door again, though. The Corruptor movement, ooh, a little scary. A few Corruptors do go down. Keep in mind, though, guys, as these Lurkers are dealt with, I want to show you the units lost tab. Because the air versus air trading, even though it's 6,000 between the two, oh, the Nidus got focused. Oh, no, Serral didn't get the Nidus this time. A huge blunder. And that is, I mean, it's not a huge blunder, but it is a big mistake for Serral standards. He ends up losing about 7 Lurkers in the main. That is very expensive. Let's show that units lost tab. 6 Tempests and a Mothership for 13 Corruptors. That's decent trading for Zerg. That's not bad. But he's got to trade against the ground army as well. And Classic's being so patient, he's not headbutting with the Archon High Templar into the Lurkers. And these Archons, 9 Archons is a lot. They're pretty weak against Lurkers because they are short-range units. 10 range on the Lurkers, 3 for the Archons. Oh, High Templar are going to dirt forward. They do drop a Storm on only a single Lurker, pulling those Lurkers out. So it's hard to get multiple Lurkers in range of these cannons. It's a very slow siege. Siege tanks 13 range, Lurkers only 10. Nidus Worm in the main base, going to force more Zealot warp-ins right side. Serral's going to lose a base here quite easily. Tectonic Destabilizer has been upgraded, which means those Tempers do 80 damage a shot. Lurker's doing really well in this top right, though. And the Storms will not kill those quickly at all. Top right, or top left, I should say, is getting broken down. Zealot Drop's going to fly right past those Lurkers. Bottom right, in big trouble for Serral. Remember, he's got Lurkers for his ground army, so it's not ideal. He's going to go forward, throwing out some Fungals, but the High Templar don't get hit by the Fungal. He does get a few feedbacks down, does Classic. But look at that. The Corruptors jumping on top. The Tempest getting hammered, and the Broodlords have arrived. The Brood Daddies have arrived. Serral says, who is your daddy, and what does he do? Neuroparasites the Archons, turns them onto Classic's units as well. A few of those High Templar are trapped. Mama's wandering into the fight. Classic should be winning this game, but it feels like he's not watching this. He's distracted by the Lurkers in the top, by the Lings denying the middle base. His economy's in trouble. The Zealots in the main base from the prison, but the Lurkers run home. They get out of a Nidus Worm, and they do manage to defend that. Mothership gets idled. She rallies into the fight. Mum walks into the Zerg base. She says, hello, boys. Why was I called here? Oh, golly, she realizes she went to the wrong address and does get viciously, viciously attacked. The Broodlords there are going to go after the Zealots. Trying to push forward Serral. Dude, how? Like, don't explain in detail. Twitch chat, how? YouTube comments, how? How is Serral winning this game? How is he up 80 supply? This is not fair. No one is this good with Nidus Worm microing in 4 places at once, using spellcasters, using a siege unsiege army, one of the most awkward armies to use, Lurker Corruptor. It is such an awkward army. There's no moment where it's easy to use Lurker Corruptor. It's just something where he has this ability to move and create movement and create problems. And there is always technically an answer, but he will make you play perfectly and jump through hoops for it. And the moment you make a mistake, Serral is there to pounce. Excellent play here by Serral in this series. He's now got 3-1 Adrenal Glands on the Zerglings, so they're actually pretty decent versus Zealots. They still can't take down those cannons just yet. And this is an action-packed start to this best of 5 series. Keep in mind, guys, Classic and Serral played some barn burners back at Gamers 8 2 years ago. There was a combined 50,000 resource bank between the two players in one of those games, so these guys really know how to fight in the late game. Couple of ducks on the Tempest. Good storms on the Corruptor Viper, but they're not actually dying. Clearing this production out. It's something Classic cannot afford to replace. Every tech structure is gas that he does not have the money to replace right now. Zealot's coming across, but Serral's got the mineral bank. He's still mining these minerals at 1,800 a minute against a Protoss that is completely broke. 3 Lurkers going to hop back into the main. I don't know if this is a great move or not. Looks like they might get trapped inside Serral. No, he gets them out. Classic here. A little bit worried by this. Lurkers do come forward, and as you can see, defending Zealots with Lurkers feels really weird and annoying, but Serral's just so good at managing it. And he's forced Classic to rebuild all of his production. Classic's gas is mining out. He's now got these 2 gas, going to try and take the top left. This base almost completely mined out, and Serral has just made it so hard to expand. He has utilized positioning expertly, mobility, and Serral has found a way to turn a late game matchup that is often I make army, you make army, and then we kind of clash and do a bit of micro, from a sort of, you know, foregone conclusion in many players' matchups to it is always a massive skill test. And I mean, it is for all players, but I just feel like Serral's so expert with these Nidus Worms and the way he moves his army. It's just another level. I guess that's the real difference. It's another level of ZvP late game. The way he moves his army around is excellent. Zerglings clean up the right, coming in with 3 Lurkers. Classic reeling, down 100 supply now. With so little money in the back. He's trying to spend his money rebuilding the fleet beacon. Whoo! Changeling's trying to get in right now. The single Zealot's like, oi, no, what's the password? They're like, and he's like, no, that's not the password. One of them points at the ground, a giant worm pokes its head out, and mass Zergling pops inside the base. At this point, you may realize those are not real Zealots, bro. Archon Tempest hanging out at the front as well. The Lurkers sieging the right side. The Zerglings attacking from the rear now. He's like, guys, let me back, let me out. They're like, the Changeling's just having a laugh there at that Zealot that did not let them in the base. And look at this. Big Zealot warping. He just burrows the Lings. Luckily, there is an Observer there. Classic will clean it up, but he took a fair bit of damage. Archon High Templar pushing to the right side. We've got 3 Tempests coming back on that left. Serral, dude. What an amazing play to get this one down. I think we're seeing as Serral plays, he like slowly hunches a little bit in his chair. I'm gonna have to angle that camera down a little bit. I'll trim that one after this game, guys, so we can get his mouth as well. Get the frustrated mouth expressions. Maybe he can get one of those Artosis down, like cartoon upside down smiles. It's like I love the Artosis look when he's playing a Protoss player on Brood War. I don't think Serral quite makes that face, but Nidus Worm still popping up to reposition right here. +3 attack, +3 carapace. Fungal! Ooh, good fungals. Which means those High Templar cannot escape the Broodlords. Oh, you're rolling the Tempests! Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself, says Serral, as he sticks the Neural Parasites in and turns the Tempests on their own kind. Absolutely brutal. Now, funnily enough, the Archons are actually getting on top of the Broodlords. Remember, these are the modern Broodlord guys. They don't do a lot of damage. The Broodling's kind of fragile as well, but he is still going to trade so well. Corruptors deal with that Oracle, and Classic taps out. GG. Very nice game there for Serral. My lord. What a psycho. This is what I keep seeing. He's dead, and then he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you guys not know? I do self-necromancy. Lol. My name's Serral. Beautiful game 1. All right, guys. Serral crushing game. Well, not really crushing, but an incredible comeback, I should say. He was up against the ropes, but it's so crazy the way he counterattacks and stays in your face and just runs around and keeps denying bases. He just doesn't let you take bases for free, and he's so ready to jump on your army. Oh, he gets blocked. Oh my gosh, you guys saw it. His eyes just closed. Oh, the frustration. He could have got that started if he actually had the money, but his drone wasn't in position because he pulled it back too late. That's a doo-doo from both players. Classic both screwed up by once again pulling the probe too late. That's just a bad probe pull timing for Classic to block Serral's standard expansion, number 1. And the fact that Serral let him get away with it, Serral's like, he literally, like, that is actually the more tilted StarCraft players get, is if they consider what their opponent did bad, and then it works, it's where you get mega tilted. And that's basically what happened, right? We pointed out Classic's probe pull timing was too late in game 1. He did the exact same probe timing in game 2. But this time it works because Serral made a mistake. And that's the sort of thing where Serral's like, oh, he's got to get over that, you know, and this is where, you know, if you're an angry guy on the ladder, you just seethe. You sit there stewing, oh, this guy's bad. He's doing a dumb thing. He made the suboptimal play. Serral will very quickly process that and move on. Serral never stays angry at his opponent. He is only angry at himself. And he is psychotic towards himself. I'm pretty sure Serral's inside voice is like, you're worthless. You suck. I can't believe you didn't do your opening perfectly. Oh my gosh, we were supply blocked for 2.3 seconds. Disgusting. I think that's Serral's inside voice. It's why he's so good. It's a healthy dose of self-hatred. And you might think if you're a casual viewer, oh, Pig's kidding. But I think anyone who's played StarCraft pretty competitively, if you've made it to, I'd say, like, especially if you've made it to, like, Diamond League or above, and you've grinded the game a fair bit, especially if you do that without cheesing, but playing macro games, which is the most frustrating version of StarCraft to play when you're getting cheesed nonstop in the ladder, I think you understand a little bit the self-hatred that is very conducive to improving at StarCraft. It's very it's something which is you know, a real part of it. We are on torches, by the way, guys. There's little funeral pyres all over the map. You can hear them burning. You hear the little crackles in your eardrums, guys. Very nice. I do like that little effect on this map. Got Lings coming around the left side, hoping to scout, maybe. The Adepts do come across the map, but one Adept came across. The other one looks like it's possibly going to stay at home. First Oracle starting up here for Classic in Game 2. It's that late game prowess that makes Protoss players want to all-in against Serral, but he's the best at defending all-ins as well, so... I mean, obviously, if you can take the fight to him, that's great. We saw in the series earlier against Mana how even when he's on the back foot, though, he's so good at turning situations into possible win conditions. Threatening base trades and the like. Oh, these Lings are being very annoying. This is really good micro. He's also got Ling speed now. Oracle's going to have to use its laser to clean them up. Meanwhile, Adepts dive into the main, and Ling Queen says, nah, 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 nah. Oh, easy block. Gets one Adept, gets two Adepts, doesn't lose a drone. The Lings get another probe as well. Dude, he just got another probe. He's still got Ling in the base. Goes for the last hit. The probe does manage to protect. But that probe may have been a good boy, but he already took a bit of damage. There's more Lings coming over. They might just attack the Adept in the wall. It might be a bit of a gamble to do that, but Serral's feeling himself. He thinks he's found an opening. He's going to go for it. Adept could shade back, and he could quickly pile on here, but... Oh, he's just going to pile on wall and let the Adept die. Doesn't even shade it. Serral happy to take another Adept kill. Oracle does get one Zergling, but only one. Dude, Serral's all over this early game. This is a disaster because you've lost 3 Adepts now, and this is the slippery slope that is playing Serral. It feels like he breaks your mentality by winning the unwinnable game, and then in the next game, he plays an even more perfect early game, and you're like, oh, geez. Like, remember, his early game was pretty good in the last game as well, but once it got to late game, Classic started to run away with things. Oh, this is good. Gets a Queen and a drone. There we go. Classic getting a point back on the scoreboard. His third Nexus goes down on the right. Forge and Twilight coming in. Not a particularly fast one, as he's been rebuilding dead Adepts all early game. The Roach Warren comes in for Serral. Serral's not been building his Roach Warren at the front anymore, you'll notice, guys. He's hiding his Roach Warren a lot of the time. And that, to me, especially says a man is thinking about walking Queens and Ravages across this map. Oof. We've got 4 more gateways there. Could be 6 in a moment. It's got 2 already up, of course. +1, and soon to be Blink coming in. Classic with a massive gas bank, but his minerals very delayed with this third base being so late. So you got to look at this and say, okay, his third's not mining. Serral's been mining his third for a while. Fully saturated, adding more gases. Evo chamber in the wall off. He hasn't mined open the gold minerals on the right just yet. This map is, of course, an El Dorado / Golden Wall style map. Classic did open these minerals to get out to this right side. Oracle's looking for more damage. It was a 2 Oracle opening this game. Drones in the open, but there's plenty of Queens there. You go any deeper, you're going to lose an Oracle. And oh, 2 hit point Oracle says, oh my gosh, get out. I think he can get out. Oracle goes for a stasis trap there. Queen kind of just ignores it because it's hunting for the weak one. Same time, Adepts run into the third base. Where are the Zerglings? There's 7 Lings on this map. Drones try to do a citizen's arrest. It's about as effective as a sovereign citizen telling the police that they don't have any power over them. Drones fighting Adepts, not a good one. Thankfully, the Zerglings do come in and help out. 7 drones do go down. Oracle's hiding, or Oracle, I should say, still hiding in the back. Could come in later for a little bit of damage. Templar Archives going up in the back of the base. Spire! Yeah, I like it. Now, the only problem I have with Serral Spire play, guys, is in the past, it's often been European. Now, Spire play, he'll hide a Spire biggest surprise ever. A situation where Rogue would build 23 Mutalisks and just keep building mutas and never stop. And Serral will be like, 6. I'll build 6 Mutalisks, like hide the tech for 7 minutes, sneak them around the edge of the map, kill 12 probes, and just swap back into ground. I'm really hoping he commits hard to the mutas this game. I just think it's a better way of doing it. Stalker Oracle trying to move forward. 73 drones against 66 probes. It's a good economy situation for Serral, but he doesn't have a great answer to these Stalkers. 10 Roaches, only a handful of Zerglings. The Queens are here. Watch out, Stasis Trap in the back door. That Oracle, he said, I told you I'd be back. Didn't realize that was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator form there, that Oracle, but being very annoying in the main base of Serral. Serral's going to take a Stasis if he's not careful. Oh, he pulled back from the Stasis and didn't finish the Oracle. I think Serral's going to be a little tilted this game, guys. I'm looking at his camera. He's played so many things so excellently, but these are mistakes which... Oh, classic with the timing. Syncs up the Stasis right after the other one finishes. That there is asserting dominance. Look at his face. Look at his face. So chill. Classic. Oh, you guys thought because I lost a late game, I was out? You thought because I lost 3 Adepts in this early? Oh, you guys thought I'm not one of the greatest Protosses of all time who was winning championships over a decade ago when Serral was still in grade school? Like, what do you guys think of me, man? Classic. Obviously not out of the woods yet, still down in supply, but he's actually getting some really good blows back. I like that Stalker pressure. 2 to 1 of the units lost, and guys, is it a... Yeah, it's a European group of Mutalisks. It's exactly what I said. He makes 8 Mutalisks, and just... Oh no, he's going to show them. He's going to show him the Mutalisks, Serral! Oh my gosh, the single Mutalisk... I don't know if Classic saw it. Let's go to Classic's camera, guys. I don't think he saw it. The mutas are flying, and now he sees it. It's just a handful of mutas straight back into ground army. It is a minimal commitment, the way Europeans like to hedge their bets. Oh man, he didn't even clump them up. Serral a little sloppy. The Stalker Storm shoves in. Classic with about as much chill as a friggin' heat wave. What in the hell? He just dives in and tries to force it, and it might just work. If you get like a big Zealot warp in, I think he might win this. He's got to get rid of the Queen, though. He's got to protect the Prism. If you can get rid of the Queen, it'll be good. The Prism, it's going to take a bile, but it's still got 6 hit points. 6 hit points. It survives. The Zealot warp is big. Classic fighting back. Serral with his sloppy EU Mutalisk timing, and Classic punches in. Sorry for not catching the start of that fight. The last thing I expected was the Protoss player to go, oh crud, there's mutas, let's dive. But he knew he had numbers. He knew he had a good army. And even with a lot of Roaches, which aren't that weak to Storm, the positioning was great. Gets him up the ramp, and Serral kind of has to go and help defend the Queens, which means he eats big storms. And we know, much like a cat getting into its first bath after living 10 years without having a single one, Zerg players do not like running water. They do not like storms washing over their army. And that was a nasty finish. Classic ties up the series. His mutas killed only 10 probes, guys. He lost most of his mutas. All right, guys, Serral goes for the Extractor trick. Now, is he going to skip the Overlord this game? Nope, he goes for the Overlord again. I got to say, I think Serral did make a few small mistakes in that last game, but so did Classic, and I like that. I like a bit of imperfect play on both sides. Classic this time is not scouting at the start. He just goes pylon into gate. He wants to return those 5 minerals. That does delay the gate by about 3 seconds there, and he's going to go gate scout. Very conservative for Classic. Always the biggest fan of the Gate Scout, but it does frustrate Zergs having that probe harass them, but it does feel like it's minimal gains. I don't know. I always feel like if you can block the hatchery, it's really nice to send a probe, block it, and then go do some harassment, but not the biggest fan of the Gate Scout personally. Of course, it's very popular at the moment, so you can't really hate on it with the results we've been seeing. I do like when players do something like a gas first no scout against Serral. Anyone else notice casual reference to Sovereign Citizen from Australia? Wow. I saw like one video of... I only saw a video of an Aussie. I didn't know it was an American thing. I just saw one. I thought I was dying laughing. I was like, oh, you show us your license. They're like, I don't have a license. I'm Sovereign Citizen. Don't need a license for your communist state. Or something. I know, they said something like... I was like, what is this? I Googled it. I was like, no. Oh, man. I thought Flat Earth was like the height of comedy. But yeah, there's a few different groups of people like that. It's fun. It's very fun. I think some people watched The Matrix and they thought if they believe something really hard, like the spoon will bend, you know? Except they can apply that to any situation. Like, some people watch The Matrix on loop in their formative years and they're just like, nah, if I just like believe really hard. Maybe they watched that Oprah episode about The Secret. They're like, if you believe something hard enough, it'll manifest in your life. You know, you're just like, I don't know, man. I feel like, yeah, if you pair up that belief with doing the thing and making it happen and it being a realistic goal, then yes, but otherwise, nah. Anyways, let's talk about the games. Let's not get too distracted here, guys. I get a bit too excited on these asides sometimes. We got Serral and Classic playing a best of 5. Winner of this, remember, goes to the upper bracket. Essentially, they get a fast track to the semi-finals. We do play the Australian Football League playoffs format, which no one outside of Australia knows or cares about. Essentially, it means that if you lose even a single gamer in the group stage, you do not get an extra life. Oh, the Ling block. They actually trapped the Adept for a moment. Got a bit of extra damage. Nice Spore trick as well. Well done by Serral. Takes the left base. Does delay the hatchery, though, does Classic. So he's already annoying, getting under Serral's skin. But yeah, like I said, if you lose even a single game, you don't get that extra life. You have to play through from essentially like a round of 12 sort of setup. Even though there's only 8 players left, whereas the other guys, you win one match, you go straight to the semis if you're first place out of these groups. If you're second, you don't get the chance to lose that first match. If you lose the first match and you're first place from the groups in the playoffs, you get another chance. So once you're in the semis, it is complete sudden elimination from that point. There are no more second chances, so it plays out a bit different to the double elimination brackets most StarCraft fans are used to, but it does mean every match matters. And whoever wins this is going to be having a big advantage going into the playoffs. Oracle does get 1 kill, takes a fair bit of damage. Oracle's going to take another drone kill. Nicely done. It's heavily damaged, so, I mean, 2 drones I think is nice, because Serral so rarely takes damage at the start, but obviously, arguably not super high value, since you're going to be damaged for the future. And it's going to be a melee opening. Good mix-up from Serral. I love that Serral's just rotating his builds. His range, probably the greatest of any Zerg in the world right now. Oracle comes in, gets herself a drone there. He's pushing it away. For those just tuning in, this is the GSL format, but best of 5 for winners and decider match. The matches that actually progress a player to the playoffs. Very simple format though. Baneling Nest, wow. Okay, dude, is he going to do a Dark? Whenever I see a Baneling Nest this early, I mean, he might just try to play Hydra Bane, use the Banes defensively if it is Glaive Adepts, but the Baneling Nest could be used for a Dark attack. Dark does some absolutely bonkers ZvP Ling Bane attacks. Oracle's rotating, looking for an opening. They're heavily damaged though. This is risky. Risque, some would say. Oracle's both heavily damaged now. And this is going to be up to 4 gateways, Blink +1, both on the way behind this. Overlord has a bit of a perv, sees what looks like a very normal setup. I think Serral's going to feel great about that early melee upgrade. Now, you don't normally want to go +2 melee, unless you're rushing Ultras, which is a bit of a mean build. Normally you want to rush range after this, as it is going to be more important. Your army's going to be a lot more Hydra-focused rather than Zergling-focused as the game goes on, though Ling run-bys can always be effective, especially if you surround a few High Templar or get some good multi-prong. Remember, there is a healing shrine in this map as well, guys. It does have an air blocker, so you can't heal on that one with Oracles. There are some maps that don't have this little purple ring. This is basically a healing shrine chastity belt, but only flying units can't get up in there. Basically, the healing goddess, Nala, of the StarCraft universe, she's a bit racist towards air units. She's like, you get away from my daughter. So she's put on this little chastity belt. It's a weird analogy, but I don't know. I feel like it explains it well enough. Just kind of educating you guys on the mechanic. We did see an amazing usage of that. Actually really turn around an early game interaction earlier today. Dude, already going 5 base. Overlord speed, Baneling speed. Feels like Serral, he's got a bit of confidence here, even though he lost that last game, and it feels like he's pushing his economy and his production so nicely. I mean, the 5th in the bottom right is basically just a macro hatchery, but still it looks great. Look at this, Adept's trying to slide across. He's not letting Classic get any map control. He's like, how dare you even think you can get map control, you silly head. Zergling and Queen should take care of that Adept. Yeah, 2 Lings, easy cleanup. Stalker's pushing over here, but dude, he's already on 45 Zerglings. This is risky. And there's good ledges to work with. You can do Blink Micro. The Oracles will help out. I'd love to see the Lings counterattack, but look at that defense. Cannon, High Templar, Zealot. Oh, look at this. Classic using the map really well. But I mean, he can't go any deeper into the open, so at least he can't find damage. 7 more drones are on the way, 6 more overlords. So it does hit a bit of a supply block. The question is, man, is he just going to go pure Hydra Bane? Because it feels like he is. And I would say with my personal experience in the last 6 months, is the Baneling has fallen off a cliff in terms of effectiveness in this matchup. It is usually just basically a Storm attractor. Banelings nowhere near as effective as they once were. While their tech aggression can work, I think usually it's about hitting faster, earlier off 60 to 70 workers or even 50 to 60 with Hydraling, getting momentum, and then trying to go Hive Tech. But he's going to go for a mass drops, really good. We haven't seen too much of that. Guys, what if he goes combat drops? Do you think that's good anymore? What if he goes Baneling drops on the army to try to land on the High Templar? Comes in with like a flank. Overlord drops from 2 sides. The Bane Rain is old school. Players haven't played against it in a long time. Their micro is much better at defending. He could just drop the main with Hydraling, but I actually think Bane Rain could work, even though Stalker Archon should be able to shoot down some of those Overlords. Hydraling's going to go for it. Oh, he's got a lot of lingies. Big storms come down, though. The Hydraling tries to jump on top. Serral's got the numbers advantage. A bit of a wild time for Classic to push in this game. Yes, he had storms, but Serral had an absolutely monstrous army. I think Classic thought there was a hive on the way. He thought there was lurker upgrades and all this sort of stuff, and he wanted to trade before that investment kicked in. That Serral, even without the grooved spines, had the grooved brain because he is a 300 IQ gamer, and he was massing Hydraling Bane. It just happened to be perfect. Classic's build choice there was not reactive. It was something he said, let's hit you. I have an idea in my head of what you're doing, and it did not match up with the reality. And that is why that went so terribly. There was no reason for him to push if he realized what Serral was doing, but he didn't realize what he was up against. 8 probes go down to Baneling run by on the right side. Serral with a mass Hydraling Bane. He was going all in on Lair Tech himself. And Classic has set him up for a bit of a layup here. Can he finish it off, though? Oh, Zergling. That stasis trap. Serral sees it. He sees it. Always does. More Banelings rolling in. Oh, the High Templar. High Templar would actually have been juicy, but he wasn't watching. Gets a few probes, damages some more. At the same time, Hydraling Bane coming in on the front. Stasis trap slowing down the advance. Those High Templar trying to protect themselves. The Banelings trying to dodge those storms. More storms landing on top. So many storms. Energy recharge not quite ready. Serral has the numbers. And despite those storms landing pretty darn well. Classics micro, excellent. Serral has a flood of Zerg. There's too much Zerg on the dance floor. Ooh, Queen does take out the Warp Prism. A couple more transfuses could be nice in that main base. Serral's the sort of cat who might actually do that even whilst attacking on the front. Of course he is. Serral here. I think this was a very close game. I think it would have been hard to break Classic if Classic was defending. Classic didn't have the information, didn't have the read. It looked like a hyper-greedy play. Hyper-greedy play. You expect Serral to go Hive Tech off that. You did not expect him to be just playing Hydraling Bane Lair Tech. And that, I think, meant he had the numbers, the advantage, the ability to overwhelm. You can see the Lings here. This Ling Hydra style has become more common, just trying to avoid the storms by running straight through them. Something Banelings don't have the speed to do, but Zerglings always do. Serral takes a 2-1 lead here, getting in charge of this series. All right, guys, we got Serral on the bottom left side of the map going once again for the Extractor Trick into Overlord, the 15 Overlord. Classic in the top right. Oh, for a second he wasn't sending a probe down, and I was like, is this man going for a Nexus first? We saw, those who don't know, Estrella is back, guys. And he actually won the Pigstarcraft tournament, the weekly cup today, beating Cure and Shin. Like, what in the heck? Like, he is looking so good right now. And he just qualified for this tournament, his first day playing StarCraft, his very first games in 3 months. So really excited for that. He's been spamming Nexus first against Zerg, which was really cool. Obviously, the scoreboard's not up to date. Thankfully, Twitch chat is here. You guys got my back. Horus has got my back. Horus is a great name, by the way. Is that your actual human name, Horus? And how did you manage to time travel here from the 17th century? Anyways, much love. I throw shade at the people that honestly help me in the chat. What can I say? You guys are great. Probe's going to come in for a little bit of harassment here as well, guys. We got the Nexus down there in the bottom right. Let's see who wins the little probe dance. After hearing, for those who are watching on YouTube, you might not know, Serral did a bit of an interview. We chatted about this probe harass, and he said this is the most annoying part of the game. He also said, I don't know if it played in the clip, guys, that the speeding up the worker mining that Clem and MaxPax do, he said if that ever becomes standard to the point where if you don't do it, you're falling behind significantly, and like it's really impacting your win chances, Serral said that's the day he quits playing StarCraft too. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I think that's unnecessarily sweaty, but I thought Serral would just have made it a main part of his play, and he's like, I'm not going to speed mine with my workers by frantically shift-clicking like Clem does every early game. He's just like, I'm like, oh, you're one of us, Serral. You get annoyed by the probe harass at the start. You refuse to do a high APM thing to get a 3% mining boost on 2 of your early game workers. Like... I'm like, this is crazy. And he gets angry when he does other hobbies that he's not as good at as StarCraft, like golf. I feel like it was a good insight into the mindset of Serral. I love the guy. Gina Kimui, thank you very much for the gifted subs there. Really appreciate that. All right, Adept's moving out right here. Oracle opening is pretty standard. Now, ley lines is a great late game map. I honestly wouldn't mind Classic once again trying to just force late game like in the first map. I think this map is a good candidate for a German taxi. I don't think Serral will be able to resist. I think Serral's going to go for an all-in. I think he's up a game. He can scare he can spare a point, and I wouldn't be surprised by it. Otherwise, maybe a fast Hydra Ling flood. It's just, it feels like Hydra attacks are so delayed. It feels like you need to kind of get away with skimping on spores, defending with like just 1 spore and 4 queens. Get a crazy fast lair. It's just not solid. It doesn't feel like it's... If you want to go for like a 50 drone Hydra timing, I think it could be amazing. If you're not playing Classic, you know? You just dip outside of the top 20, 30 players in the world. There's a lot of strategies that are super viable, but you get to these guys at the top, and it's just hard to pull off some of these meme builds that work on the ladder against an average Grandmaster. Thank you so much for the support. Those in the chat, really appreciate you all crowdfunding this tournament, allowing us to keep doing PiGFest, guys. Really is the community that allows us to run these events, and it's great to have the support of so many top players. Always happy to play PiGFest. Serral right now is hunting his 4th PiGFest championship, guys. If he can get 4 out of 6, that means he's going to be at 2/3, which is kind of ridiculous. Man keeps winning PiGFest. MaxPax won 1, Beyond won 1. He's won 3. He's at 3 out of 5 right now. He's at 60%. Wants to jump up to 66.6. Things going for a little surround here. Oh, hello. Oh, dude, he's so good at waiting for the oracles to move out, isn't he? Leaving your base with your oracles is a mistake when you play Serral, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to be fair, Classic's pylon positioning is suboptimal. You want to always have that pylon 1 space down and to the left, or actually 1 space to the down and left, so you have a little gap for adepts there. I think a lot of the players want to prioritize these further right pylons, so sometimes it powers more buildings and stuff, and this does create like a choke point behind there, I think, but this pylon doesn't create a choke with the Nexus, which means it's a little bit easier to get caught out in the open. So I don't mind pylon here or 1 space down to the left. Both are pretty good. But any opening is going to be a problem against a guy like Serral. It goes for the Evo chambers. Serral with a quick reactive Evo, and he insta-cancels and builds a new one and pulls these drones away. Classic works so hard to get a single drone kill. This is just what it's like early game against Serral, guys. Oh, Classic gets a drone. Only 1 because the other one pulls away. You work so hard and you get 2 drones. You've already lost 2 adepts though, so it's still a good start there for Serral. Now, Serral sees the Stalkers. This really looks like a blink opening. 3 Stalkers. There ain't no way this is not a blink opening. And the Oracle gets caught on the way home. The Queens came and cut it off on the retreat. Oh, man. Dude, just no one has the attention to detail that Serral does in the early game. I've talked about how a lot of Zergs are just struggling having bad early games constantly. Serral never has a bad early game in this matchup. When we see a Serral bad early game, it is so much better than any other Zerg's bad early game. And as the series goes on, it feels like he plays different openings every game, and he plays it better and better, while his opponents tend to make more and more mistakes, because they're like, damn, that thing he caught me off with was good, this other thing he caught me off with was good. Look at this. He's harassing with Zerglings, but he leaves Lings at home. Why? Because Classic has been so good at sneaking adepts around the map, and he's ready for it. He wants to anticipate and get the surround. Doesn't quite have the numbers there right now, though, especially with the Oracle nearby. 67 workers for Zerg, 65. And already Hydra's on the way with an incredibly fast Muscular Augments upgrade. Serral could do a Hydra shove this game. I would not mind him stopping at 15 Hydras, shoving across the map, and trying to kill the Protoss 4th, looking for more damage. If he can hit a pre-storm window, that would be incredible. I mean, it's a pretty narrow window. That's going to be done about 7.5 minutes. So assuming he chrono boosts it 2 more times, maybe 7:25. Overseer going in towards the main base. Infestation bits on the way. Serral's going to plate to Lurkers. Something which is an insane person's choice unless you're Serral and you beat everyone in late game. Even when it looks disastrous. I love when autocorrects accidentally correct. We had a comment in the chat, just play like Serral. It was meant to be Serral, it got autocorrected to Serral, and I feel like that's kind of how Serral plays. It is a little bit like 3 very intelligent Zergs combined in one super high IQ body. Serral doesn't do that stuff, Pig says. Oh, he doesn't attack, I forgot, sorry. Serral has some good timings. He mostly does German taxis. Love to see him get in there and get a bit more aggressive. We've got Rainer in the chat. He said, Pig, I'm grinding really hard. Get me an invite to your tournament. Some of our other players dropped down. He managed to get an invite. I mean, I saw him streaming League of Legends yesterday. I don't know, man. Just what? Feel like I got duped, man. Nah. Much love, Rainer. Hope you're doing well, mate. Look forward to seeing you. I'm not sure if you're tomorrow or the day after, but we're looking forward to it. Congrats on your GSL qualification as well, mate. Because remember, guys, if you play any other games or do anything that's not StarCraft, you can't be practicing hard. That's how science works. 5's almost finished. Good work account for Serral, dude. He's got good money. He's going to have a bit more money to get these little spines. I love these spine crawlers. The Zealots, if they A-move, they'll get stuck behind each other in the choke point. You have to micro them around the backside. You can even build an Evo chamber or 2 more spines there to wall off that side as well. Oh, he finds the prism. What the heck? Did he see that move out? Or was he just maybe moving forward for his own attack? I don't know if that was a bit of luck or a bit of awesomeness from Serral. Probably a little bit of column A and a bit of column B. We've got High Templar, Stalker, Zealot, Archon roaming the middle of the map. Second Stargate fleet peak and going to be heading towards Tempest. Classic's got 80 probes and 4 bases, so even though Serral's had an amazing income, whenever I look at these situations, I always think, oh man, this is hard. Oh, walks up the ramp. Lurkers say, no way, Jose. And he's going to have to pull back. Those Lurkers are a little undefended, but the Zealot's getting absolutely wrecked over there. And he stumbles into those Lurkers. Maybe he could have jumped on them and taken them out, but units lost tab 2-1 in favor of Zerg. Serral has seismic spines, 4 more overlords. He's got a Spire on the way. Remember how late that Spire was in game 1 on, was it Tokamak? I think it was Tokamak they started this series on. Oh, hello. That was not the greatest storm there. Remember, guys, Classic did, by the way, win the coin toss. So we started this series on US West, but it's back to Central now here in game 4. Lings very damaged, but they'll regenerate pretty quickly. Oh, he's looking for the flank. But it's once again the Hunter who becomes the Hunter. The Lurker's coming from behind. And unlike Tokamak, this time Serral has the numbers to crush him. But dude, Classic, with about as smooth of an evacuation as you could possibly get, blinks to the high ground, loads up the High Templar, but he still loses so many units. Storm and Tempest is here. But dude, look at this. Amazing fights for Serral. He's so good at baiting the Protoss out and then surrounding his army. That natural looks very undefended right now. Incredibly open. There's Lings there. Oh, he sets off the stasis without actually getting hit with a single unit. Hydra Ling coming in. The Lurkers setting up a beautiful angle. Tempest will break this, but Tempest take a while. I really would love to see Serral push in. I think Serral should break the natural right now. He's got the numbers. These Tempests are going to take a while to clear it, but Serral says, no, I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to run it into Storm. If he warps in a High Templar, energizes it, it's going to be a problem. So he backs away for now. Air armor is on the way. Adrenal glands, carapace, +1 melee as well. We may be seeing ultras this game. I think he realizes Classic doesn't quite have the money to get into Immortals right now. Very fast units can set off stasis traps, guys. Yeah. I didn't know it for a long time, and I saw Serral and Rainer both do it a bunch. Pretty rare. But you can do it. You just got to move into the edge of the zone and pull back straight away. You got to know kind of the range that it sets off at. Ling's coming in on that right side. Oh, good warp in. Hydras though. Gonna bust a few of these Zealots, but now the Lings are in. Oh, and this is a very expendable force for Serral. He doesn't care about losing these guys. And now he's gonna turn and hold the choke. Wait, the Changeling! He's got a Changeling guarding the wall! Oh, the Changeling doesn't get on hold position. If he held position, the Changeling, the Zealots wouldn't have been able to chase him in. That would have been so sick. Of course, Serral attacking with Lurkers on the left at the same time. Oh, he gets 2 High Templar already. Tempest starts to take out Lurkers. Meanwhile, Prism down south starts to attack him. 1 Lurker goes down, but for 2 High Templar, that's okay. The Hydraling does get cleaned up by the Zealots. We've got 11 Corruptors on the way. Tectonic destabilizes air weapons, +3 ground weapons. Mama has a cloaking field out. Units lost tab still in favor of Serral. And remember, that is usually exceptionally good for the Zerg, but Classic's got a 5th in the middle. Classic Shoney is one of those top dogs in the late game. Recently, apparently, Rogue took him down in some late games. Rogue's had some pretty damn good late game, but I don't think it's quite as good as Serral's. And oh, Queen does go down, but Zealots are going to be trading cost inefficiently. Single Corruptor comes in, guys. I don't know what this... That's a brave Ruptor, that is. That's a very brave Corruptor. This is a William Wallace Corruptor. That's Mel Gibson with his hairy man boobs out shouting freedom. I mean, it's not going to work. He does die. But I admire the bravery, man. Ling's going to deny this Nexus on that side. Oh, Hatchery does get cancelled in the bottom right. This is the problem on this map. These middle bases are so hard to hold. So easy for Tempest to snipe these two. And that's usually the late game problem. If Protoss can defend 5-6 bases, you never really get to mine these bases for long. Serral's trying. He's trying to keep Classic busy. He's doing a really good job of it. Oof. Lings do take out the Zealots. The Zealots will wreck it. Top left, though. Lurkers find an angle. He's going to deny that Nexus. Ling's killing a fair bit down here. And actually, what happened to the... How did these guys get past the Zealot? Zealot goes up. Zealot in a choke point does well. I think a Prism just went down up there, guys. The Corruptors just took a bit of a diversion. There's still no Prism on the map now. Zealots are down south, but... Lurker Spine and one Lurker is underground there. Queen Spine with one Lurker, I should say. Classic's bank right now is chunky. He's a rich boy with a bad habit. A bad habit for Protoss. P Protoss. He's a bad boy with a bad habit. Yeah, honestly, I mean, Classic's forcing late game. Like I said, after game one, it's not a bad idea. If he can correct his mistakes from game one, it could definitely work out. We've got Lurkers trying to defend these middle bases, just so hard to defend. Even the Zealots are sniping them. And this is always the problem. It's so hard to deal with Zealot run by his man. Serral did a great job in map 1, but you're always taking bits of damage. It's so hard to stop all of it. Midas Worm tries to pop up. Overseer's going to get taken out by the Tempests. Dude, he's so good at repositioning with his army. Serral's just going to try to fish here for some value, but you can see the unit's loss tab's turned around. 1,500 in favor of Classic now. What I like is that the Viper's out a lot quicker this game. There's only a single Viper, but it's out much earlier. No Parasite's not on the way. Chitinous Plating coming in. There's 3 Immortals on the map right now. It's a beginning to a counter for the Ultras, but not a complete counter. Nice Worm goes down on that side. It feels like Classic. If he can get these cannons up on this side, it's going to make his life much easier. Serral has a good amount of urgency, though. Rushes in. Let's get a nice surround on the Archon. Gets rid of a bunch of cannons and those High Templar as well. Beautiful play by Serral. Now, if we look at the vision game, Classic, pretty minimal vision. Serral, on the other hand, he's got good vision. Does need to keep respreading creep, though. Really hard to do that with everything else happening. Lurkers in the top left. He's going to throw a Nidus there. Oh, that's a very cute Nidus. Just trying to stay active. These Niduses are cheap in the big picture. They allow him to keep Classic somewhat contained. If he can keep denying the cannon battery and kind of split sieging it can do well. It's also got this base back up in the middle. Serral needs to try to find a way to get these going. It's just so tough. Lurkers on the right. Infestors are around. I don't think he has the tentacle yet. No, he doesn't have the tentacle upgrade. Lurker on the high ground. Gets a little bit of damage on those probes. Doesn't really kill much. Just a distraction. Just little pokes and prods looking for the mistakes. +2 air armor on the way. It's going to take him to 1-2 air upgrades up against the +2 air of Classic. Oh, these Lurkers. Free cannons. That'd be friggin' delicious, but I think he knows the army's nearby. Another Nidus Worm, guys, as a bunch of the boys rock up to the wall of blah, blah, blah. The Zealots realizing this time that these are not real Zealots. They don't know the prayers to Adun. Stalkers on that side, going to try and pull away. 3 Broodlords morphing. Ooh, he's going Broodlords much quicker. Now, Broodlord's main job is to clear Archon High Templar, guys. If you can push the Tempest back or take him out, Broodlords can pick off that ground army, but they're very low impact. They are lower impact than the entire Protoss army. So their job is to outrange and strike either where the Protoss is not, or when the Protoss is moving, you fungal a few of his High Templar in an exposed area, catch him with the Broodlords, and then you either dive on top when he's got no storm, or you disengage and try to do it again. Lurker's getting a good siege over here. I do like this. Nidus Worm in the top left as well. Great runaway. Beautiful evac, dude. Loads up very quickly. Serral, though, he's not finding an opening. Classic's doing such a good job of dealing with him. And these aren't free, these Nidus Worms and whatnot. You can see pretty close in the unit's loss tab, though, but it is a bit more gas going down into the garbage for Serral than it is for Classic. The tentacle upgrade's on the way. The Neural Parasite. Double Spire now making 2-3 upgrades for Serral. Air upgrades continuing with the double Cyber Core for Classic. He's going to go 3-1 as well as the +2 Plasma Shields. These Zealots were AFK in the bottom for a long time. Finally, they get found. I think that's probably good for Classic. wasting supply on them, arguably. Robobase coming in. Classic is thinking about getting a Disruptor. Now, the Disruptor is kind of the primo tentacle breaker, guys. If Serral neurals a few units with his Infestors clumped up, and you have a Disruptor just in range and you land that Disruptor shot, you can sometimes break, what, 5 neurals at once? You can kill 4, 5, 6 Infestors sometimes. Look at this. This is the Broodlord hit and run. Runs in, kills a few cannons. He's going to try and distract, run in with Lurkers on the right side. Classic's doing a great job of hanging onto his bases. He realizes, remember, he was so focused on attacking last time, and that was the mistake. This is what he's fixing here in game 4. He's saying, well, just don't attack. Why would I attack? That's dumb. This is Serral, man. When the more movement, the more chance there is for me to make mistakes, and I should be favored in the long game. Oh, those Zealots did nothing, man. Watching those Zealots walk in single file. Woof. There's 2 Lurkers up front. Pull back. Gonna break these cannons. Value, remember. Serral's the kind of guy who's happy to sandpaper his way to victory. Most people want to use a knife, a gun, some sort of standard, you know, just average weapon that actually kills. Serral's the kind of guy who will just be like, oh, excuse me, let me just polish your face up there. And he'll sandpaper you down over 10, 20, 30 years. He will dig a hole in that cell wall. That one little diamond hammer or whatever it's called. Dude! Classic! Oh no! Classic loses his cool. He kills his own Nexus. Oh, Classic's mouth is open. He just turned on his own. Oh no! He chucked an MMA, guys. Oh, not an MMA, an Idra. Sorry, an Idra versus MMA. Wow, we don't usually... I don't know when the last time I saw that was. That's a while. Accidentally attacks his own Nexus. Now he's going to attack, guys. Is that the right call? High Templar waddle into the base and kill a bunch of drones with storms. It's cute. I don't know if Serral cares about lowering his work account right now. He's got a massive bank. Lurker sieging the north, and the moment Classic moves out, he leaves an opening. Dude, he's got to reestablish this north side. He needs just like 2 Tempests up here, and it should be fine. But he's losing probes right now. This is good for Serral. You've got to stay calm. This is where Serral's mental fortitude, he puts you through the ringer. He makes you play a long, stressful game, and his level doesn't go down. And other players start to panic. They start to make mistakes. They start to not know what to do. Because there's no more clear, obvious path to victory in these situations. It is simply you must execute these skirmishes correctly and look for small amounts of value. It's not about winning the game. It's about winning each individual fight one at a time. And that's all Serral's focusing on. Great counter for Classic, though. Gets a hatchery snipe. Zealot's moving in the left side. There's no spines over there. He's doing a good job. Right side, Zerglings run in. Cannons say no. And it's last time 2,000 in favor of Serral. I don't think killing your own Nexus really matters in the big picture, guys. It really doesn't. It's the psychological impact and him killing it and then YOLOing across the map that actually gave more damage for Serral. I think you've got to just chill here as Classic, and actually you got to embrace your inner time waster. If you want to really maximize your chances of winning this game, like, you don't want to focus on winning. You want to focus on being obnoxious. Slow the game down and just occasionally dart forward, kill these drones in these bases. Right now, the argument is actually because he's turtling so much, Serral's getting to mine the 2 middle bases that Zerg's not meant to be able to mine on this map. So damn, Serral's activity rate does get him some economic value as a side effect of that. Just working so hard and opening up these opportunities. Lurker gets sniped with the Immortal. I love this little Immortal 2 High Templar squad, very cute. The fact that he's been adding stasis traps this deep in the game is really impressive as well. Like Classic, just adding little bits of insurance. Chat's discussing the Fist of Neeb, 198 army supply. I think it's too hard to actually get value out of extra army supply when push comes to shove. There's a chance if you sacrifice your workers. Hold on, Neuroparasite comes in. He's stealing the Tempest. Corruptors are diving. Where are the High Templar? They're a bit too far on the right side. A couple of Tempests do go down. A couple of Infestors went down, but look at that, abducting some Tempest. Broodlord's behind it, and he jumps on top. Serral ignores the Time Warp because you could tell Classic was not ready for that fight. Classic needs to give up the next eye and use his Tempest to gain some value. He's still got 4 Tempests. A great storm on the Corruptors, but a resounding success for Serral. Denies 11 workers, gets a bunch of Tempests, and the Broodlords do waddle away. Warp Prism sliding into his back door right now. Does he see it? I'm not sure. I think if he does, his Corruptors would go after it. Spires, of course, have already maxed out the air upgrades. Well, almost. +3 air will finish soon. Going to warp in some Zealots there. Plenty of Zerglings to deal with it. Remember, they have 3/3 and Adrenal, so they ruin the Zealots. Oh, can he transfuse? Spire goes down. 1 of 2. Mothership attack over on the right side. Good opportunity. Senses it, gets in, finds the opening. Ooh, I wouldn't mind a few chain fungals, but look at this. Zealot's up there. Zealot's up here. The William Wallace Corruptor has been reborn. His his life has been spat out by the wheel again, guys. So once again, fulfill his goal to very slowly kill one Warp Prism while shouting freedom. Warp Prism could just fly away. Oh, he's decided to just fly away. Damn it. Ah, he's just going to have to... Okay, Corruptor gives up. He's just going to hang out there on patrol. Chat thinks Classic's going to win. Remember, guys, I did foreshadow these two had a combined bank of 50,000 resources in Gamers 8. Right now, 20,000, almost 21 for Serral. About 12,000 for Classic. We're getting, you know, we're not quite at 40,000. The activity rate's too high on this map. Archon High Templar Tempest over there. The Broodlords are going to be hanging out. I mean, it's good damage, man. Losing a hatchery, not a big deal. I think Serral cracking in, especially if we can get rid of these cannons, it gives him so much more freedom to ambush the army. I would argue that's too many Archons, guys. I don't know what you call 12 Archons. Oh my lord. I mean, they get rid of the Spine Lurker pretty fast. Is there enough? 9 Broodlords and no Lurkers left. Is that enough to deal with that much stuff on the ground? Serral might want to consider making more Lurkers. He is making 6 more Hydras. He's got a lot of Zerglings. And this is the sort of fight you want. Click some of them on the Nexus, click some on the Static. Oracles could turn on their lasers, but it's like he's just saving it for Stasis and Revelation, which is the right move. Fester Corruptor hoping to catch some air units out. Is there any Vipers left? One Viper in the mix. Juiced up on energy, maxed out. The Infestors. Oh, Serral's idling. He does not realize he's left them behind, guys. That's a mistake. Luckily, Protoss is nowhere nearby. Those are the mistakes that are tragic in these late game scenarios. There's little moments of inattention. If your opponent stumbles into that and kills 8, 10 Infestors, it feels very bad. Serral's a millionaire, but he's buying units at the dollar store right now. Yeah, you're not wrong, Twitch chat. I think it's a good way to make sure he doesn't just spend all of his gas. He's getting value out of cheap mobile units. Punishing Classic for not having an answer. Classic's trying to slide a Prism in the south side. Spore Crawler's already on the edge. I think they can reach that. We'll find out. Ling Hydra going to deny. He's really removing Classic's map control. That's a 4 Zealot drop. 2 Gigachad Spores. Not enough against the speed Prism, guys. And Serral. Doesn't matter. His Corruptors are there. Doesn't even unload a Zealot. You can hear their screams inside the Prism as they do crash and burn. Ultras would be good against the Archons. Well, they're decent against them, but with 4 Immortals behind it, Ultras would not be a good investment right now. It's Lurkers or Broodlords. Combination of both is the ideal anti-ground army for Zerg. Spine Lurker did get replenished in the top left. Fungal comes forward. Neurals on a few of these Archons. Oh, I love the Corruptors on the right side. Time Warp scary. Fungal Parasitic Bomb goes down, but the Parasitic Bomb is on the first Tempest. It gets shot down. Another couple of Neural Parasites. Damn, the Micro is so good, dude. The Micro here from Serral. Fantastic. Steals units. At the same time, snipes the base. He's so good at fighting with only a chunk of his army. Give him 8 Infestors, 9 Broodlords, and a pack of Corruptors. He'll scare off a maxed out Protoss army. Classic says, screw this. Let's dive the bottom side. But little does he realize there's no hatchery there. Serral is not overexpanding. He's staying contained, controlled. He's also up now. 12,000 resources only for Classic. 24,000 for Serral. He's got double the bank right now. You know what they say, money often wins in wars. It wins in games. If you have the infrastructure, you have the money, the investment, the capital, you can simply get a bigger army than your opponent. Lurker depowering cannons on that side. Ling's so active on the map, dude. This is just a clinic, isn't it? I feel like Classic is showing that he is such an excellent Protoss player. And Serral once again is showing us that there is no world where Serral is ever easy to beat. There is no way when he's ever easy to finish off. There is no obvious weakness in his game. Is it early game? Is it mid game? Is it late game? There's none. There's no, oh, just cheese him at the start. Oh, just take him to late game. He can't play that as well. The man is devoid of weakness. He is a suit of armor that does not have a weak point. You can't get out a dagger and go for the eye slit or go for the little bit around the neck or the armpit or anything like that. No, you need to literally just have the build of like King Robert from Game of Thrones. You need to be like a 6'6", friggin' 200 kilogram absolute gorilla of a man. You need a giant warhammer, and you need to smash his breastplate in. There is no path of least resistance with Serral. You just need to smash his friggin' armor in with inhuman strength and skill. Like, you're just like, okay. He's like, what technical, like, if you're like a rogue style player, I mean like a rogue like in an RPG, you know, you're like a guy who's like fast and agile and tricky. You're gonna try and slip your poison in and get your blades in his back. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You gotta overpower him. You have to wrestle him to the ground and slowly strangle him out. It's so difficult.
Game paused. Game resumed.
All right, guys, we're resuming the game here. We had to take about a 10-minute break, and much like I solved yesterday's tech issues in Group B by telling a player to turn a VPN on because of a blackout in the neighboring country where they were trying to route through, today we solved the tech issues once again by being the wizard I am by telling Classic to turn his VPN off. And it's magically fixed himself. Oh, Immortals do get caught out. You lose those, the Ultras could find value. Now, Classic was getting mauled by Serral, guys. He's kind of getting wrecked, right? Units lost trading. He's down almost 3,000 resources. He's lost a lot of map control, a lot of bases. Despite that, they have enough banks that he gets a full remax, and he's still got 13,000 in the bank. Now, obviously, Serral is way ahead now in terms of the bank, but it's not over. Classic can still take a very efficient fight and win this game. We'll see how we go. Archon's morphing, dude. Okay, that's not healthy, guys. He has 15 Archons. There's such a thing as too many Archons, I feel like. That's wild. Oh, he's going to recall up top, is he? There's an army there. Serral's nearby. Uh-oh. I don't know, man. The Tempers are going to pick off a few buildings. Serral's army is actually close by. If he goes into the opening and the Observer sees it, I think Serral was like, you spotted me. You ready? Time warp zoning. I mean, that was a paranoid time warp, though, right? That's like when you're not even shooting at the enemy, you're shooting at the ground in front of the enemy to try to scare them away from charging at you, you know? That time warp wasn't exactly something that inspires confidence. Time warp, Mothership, sorry, not staying with the army. She's off on her own. Oh my lord, Classic! He gets super wrecked there, just A-moving a bit sloppily. 4 Tempest get neural, a bunch of enemy Tempest get focused. The Corruptors, of course, take them all out before they run out on the neurals, and that is, oh my lord, 6,000. 5.5, sorry, in the units lost difference. Flux Veins, I used to have a different name for that where I'd leave out the L, but I'm trying to be PG-13 today, so we're just going to call it Void Ray Speed, or Flux Veins. Allows you to flux. Much like this. Basically, the Void Ray engine turns into this thing on the side of this map, just in case you guys needed a seizure. Lurker Hydra Link coming down in the bottom right side. Storm does take out a few Lings, but he loses one High Templar, loses his second one. Ooh, the Zergling's getting good damage here. And look at that, he just runs away when the army arrives. Dude, he's so good. Serral, Nidus Worm pops up in the back, and it may not have been effective, but he did basically make that probe covered in dirty, dead Nidus Worm slime, which is in of itself a decent thing. 2 High Templar, 2 Zealots going to go for a bit of a drippy-droppy in the north. Classic right now. He's good. The thing is, you start to lose confidence when your opponent wins this many fights. It makes you really paranoid about moving on the map. Psychology plays a really big part in these games as they go longer. 2 Zealots drop. Doesn't unload the High Templar. Oh, he's going to storm Corruptors. Which, I mean, and then I guess maybe recall the Archon. Yeah, the Archon's more valuable than the Prism, so he saves the Archon. 14 Archons on this map. It's such a big blob of Archons. If you get caught by Fungal, Lurker Broodlord will ruin you. The center hatchery fully mined out the gas. There's still some minerals to be taken. So denying that is useful for Classic. The Classic's income, of course, not so high. Serral's isn't really either, but Serral's, of course, got that gigantic bank. Nidus goes up on the other side. Cannon there, plus Zealot Warping will deal with it. Now the hatchery bites the dust. But it's the army versus army interactions that matter, and that is where Serral has been a force to be reckoned with. This man has mind-controlled a lot of these Protoss. Archon's very easy targets as well. Short-ranged waddly boys. They run into the front line. Oh no, Serral not watching! We talked earlier about those moments of inattention and how much they can cost you, but he turns it to his favor, my lord! Pulls back, drops the Fungal Neural, the Broodlord's doing great damage, Mama comes forward, but those Archons doing big damage to his own units. A couple of Infestors do get gunned down. Lurker's trying to push in the north. If you had the lurkers with the army, you could fight this. Without those lurkers with the main army, though, Serral has to stutter step away. Lings are going to hit the bottom right. Oh, Zealots trying to warp in, but Lings are in the mineral line. Bunch of probes going down. Nidus Worm goes up as well. These Zealots trying to hold in a choke point, but they are overrun. Remember, they've only got +1 armor. So the Zerglings are actually kind of wrecking him. Bottom right base goes down. Lurker Spore in the top means Archons can't really push in here. Ooh, these Lurker Volleys going to bust the Archons. The Tempest can obviously push in. Got to find a way to stop those. 2 Infestors get pushed in by the Changelings. Bit of a mistake there for Serral. Oh, one characteristic. He's down to 4 Infestors. Wisely giving up this base. Serral does not want... Like, losing a hatchery and a few spores doesn't matter. The army versus army, the big clashes are where these games get decided. You can see Classic's been losing them. He's down 4,000. And of course, the Lings are getting great value as well, picking off cannons, batteries, and Nexi. +2 armor actually just finished, so Classic did end up adding that +2 armor eventually. Just hasn't been a priority in this game for him. Maybe should have. We haven't really seen Classic use Dark Templar at all to defend counterattacks, and I think that would have made it a bit more complicated just because Serral would have had to always have Overseers with his little Ling run-bys. Would have just made it a bit harder for Serral. Doesn't exactly shut down everything he does, because top pros will bring Overseers very quickly. Nidus Worm goes down in the bottom right. Lings depowering this. Gonna take down the Robo. Robo is an incredibly fragile structure at just 900 hit points. Hatchery Snipe though, no cancel there for Serral. Wall-off trying to get reinforced. Changelings once again trying to get in. They do not know the password. Oh my gosh! Oh gosh! It's not a wall-off, is it? Well, maybe it is. It's a lot of Void Rays. Now, Void Rays are an amazing unit if your opponent A-moves Corruptors into them. Your opponent knows how to use Fungal and Parasitic Bomb. Void Rays are what we call a spell magnet, an AoE magnet, area of effect damage. Basically, Void Rays are very good at running in, stacking up, and then getting hit by a Fungal and a Parasitic Bomb. The Wombo combo, the Destroyer of Worlds, anti-air spell combo that will absolutely obliterate them. And that is what Serral's going to be looking for when push comes to shove, when there's a big fight. Alright, cleans up the Zerglings. Of course, Serral. He's got the top base back up mine. He's going to try and take this one as well. There are minerals in the middle. Might be worth stealing. It's kind of dangerous to try and even get there, though. And I think most players, you want to try and push when you have an advantage. You want to have that urgency. Right now, guys, we've got Classic. He's on 185 army supply. He's getting close to the Fist of Neeb right now. Neeb right now, for those who don't know, greatest North American StarCraft player to ever live. I don't think... Right? I don't think anyone can match Neeb's result. I mean... Until Serral came along, Neeb was truly special. Basically, Neeb in 2017 at BlizzCon beat Rogue with 199 army supply. We were talking about this yesterday. And yeah, he threw away every probe except one. And it was the biggest Protoss army we'd ever really seen in a professional match. It was an immense amount of units. Unfortunately for Classic, this is not that high quality an army. It's like Archon Void Ray. I don't know, that just doesn't feel like a high quality army. This feels like a really good 4v4 Platinum League army. Obviously, we'll see what Classic can make with it. Tempest Storm is still fantastic with the Mothership, but the Mass Archon Void Ray is an A-move special. If you catch your opponent without enough without spells or without enough anti-Archon. Ling Lurker in the bottom. Nice Storm there. Scarlet's a fantastic StarCraft player with a great history. She probably comes in at number 2, I would imagine, guys. But historically, Neeb had the bigger results. Neeb was the first player to win a tournament in Korea, a LAN tournament, since, was it Gur? One of the guys in the very start of StarCraft 1. Broke a 15-year drought of non-Koreans winning on Korean soil. He also won 3 out of 4 WCS tournaments in 2017. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's talk about these two players. Serral took it to a whole new level just a year later. Ooh, Lurker's trying to run away. Oracle's gunning him down. Void Rays. Clean up this base. Classic just can't get a base up and mining right now. Serral closing in on 30,000 bank. Dude, this guy's secured all the funding. All right. Cannot get caught. One catch of these infestors on your army and you're screwed. Look at this. Serral's like, I want to run in, kill one pylon, and run away. Serral, right? It's just, this is what I'm telling you, man. He just shaves off value little by little. The Lings, once again, are like, oh, look, exposed High Templar. Let's make them storm themselves. But no, it does pull back this time. Serral stopping at 169 army supply. He's a little superstitious, guys. He does believe the power of memes. If he can stop at 42 or 69 workers supply, he'll always choose to. It's just smart, man. I mean, there's no proof that numerology works. But, you know, I have a hunch, so not a bad idea. His fortune teller before this match told him 169 is the number. He just he better build 2 Zerglings right now. He's at 168. Uh-oh. Worker Ling, south side. Oh, hello, big stormies. Nice engage for Classic. Stasis Trap helps protect. Things come forward. The stasis. Dude, the fact that he's still spamming stasis traps is so sick. Classic has played such a good series. Unfortunately, he's not in a great spot. Pig, you can come to DreamHack Dallas? I don't think I'll get a chance to, guys. I don't know. We'll see if they do casters there. Oh, Parasitic Bomb Fungal! The Wombo combo lands! Watch those Void Rays, their hit points drop! Oh my gosh! They are taking so much damage. Another Fungal lands. A couple of Broodlords do get sniped, but those Void Rays, they go from a premium, great Corruptor killer to a heavily damaged pack of planes. Essentially a bunch of poorly maintained Boeing aircraft remaining for Classic in his fleet. Better be careful, guys. The doors and windows could pop off these at any moment. You never know what size bolts they're using, if it's the right one. Void Ray Tempest doing well. This is, you land that one more time and these guys are all basically dead. Units lost tab. 1,000 in favor of Serral still. Or a few hundred, I should say. Ling's constantly... His activity! He never stops trying. Serral's always probing. Like, probing at the fronts, looking for an angle. Lings trying to run forwards. Oh, Corruptor Viper coming in. Here we go, Fungal. Oh my lord, the Archons could do crazy splash damage here. The Void Rays getting hammered by their own Archons. Oh my lord. And that is what Void Rays do in late game, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, they are magnets for splash damage. He's lost 5 Void Rays so far. A lot of them are heavily damaged. Those are expensive units. Classic trying to find a way in, but oh, he's rebuilding the Voids as well. I mean, I think he's basically worried about Serral diving with Mass Corruptor. He needs something that kind of bites well enough when push comes to shove. He wants the Void Ray Archon to fulfill that role. Problem is you need to keep those kind of behind the Tempest Storm a little bit as sort of a reserve force. You don't want them running in front, but they tend to run in front. There's an argument that Flux Veins is the Void Ray speed is actually a bad upgrade because it makes it so much harder to micro your Voids. And you always tend to send them in front. And obviously that's a skill issue, but I think most players have that skill issue. Maynard's out there somewhere. I hope he tunes into this StarCraft game as the first one he's watched in a while. Just to give him the heebie-jeebies, make sure he doesn't come back again. The meme is that we made Maynard retire from casting StarCraft after the first or second PiGFest, whichever one it was, where he had to cast a 4-hour series of Serral against Trap back in 2021, and that was basically like forcing us to cheese grate his brain. This is one of those series that if you are not an avid lover of StarCraft and the like tiniest, nerdiest details and the patience and the gruel, like you need to be able to sit through Test Cricket to watch this version. I love Test Cricket. I think Test Cricket's great. Those who don't know Test Cricket, guys, think of there's a lot of Americans probably awake and watching at this point. Let's describe cricket. Aussies, help me out. How do we describe Test Cricket to Americans? Well, hold that thought because this game's about to end. Serral's going for it. Observer sees him though. So Test Cricket, it's like baseball, but imagine you play for a week, and at the end of it, it's usually a draw. It's a week-long match, and most of the time, no one wins. Yeah. If you go to watch, you spend just as much time dressing up, getting drunk, and making beer snakes as you do actually watching the game. Because it goes for that long. You use copious amounts of sunscreen to avoid getting sunburnt, whether you're in the audience or playing the game. And it's fantastic, because you really get to see a very long, slow-turn progression over many days. Very high-level adjustments. Void Ray's going north. I actually, yeah. It's not usually a draw. I'm exaggerating, guys, but it is often. It's quite often a draw. Like, if the countries weren't so mismatched in terms of their rosters, it would probably be a draw a lot more often. But since there is pretty big differences between the countries usually playing test matches against each other, it's less common. But imagine if it was like it would be like that. Pig, where's the production tab? Guys, you notice the difference between the production tab? No production. Pretty different. Oh, he's making 3 creep tumors. That's exciting. Sorry, guys. I'll stop. It is actually useful to have that up. He's building a cannon. He's energy recharging here. Serral's like, dude, get out, bro. I got this. Serral has passed 30,000 bank. He's looking for the ambush. Ooh, Serral's hungry right now. The Lings are battering in the front. I mean, Classic's trying to do a Helm's Deep on his natural. The Elves keep coming in and saving the day at the last second, but he cannot take this bottom base. These Lings are denying the long-distance mining. They wreck these probes. I mean, is there, I mean, a Helm's Deep is where you actually survive and someone comes to help you. I don't think anyone's coming to help Classic. So what's like a famous holdout where you're trying to survive, but kind of just to spite the enemy a little bit? Or maybe this is like 300 or whatever, right? The battle in the past. Serral's the Persians. Classic is the great Spartan 300 warriors who have all 12-pack abs. Not even a 6-pack. They've got 12-pack abs. They thrust their spears. Their boss kicked a guy into a well. They're like, yeah, just say that, you know, bend the knee, say that you're part of our kingdom, and it'll be great. He was like, no, and he kicked him in a well. And now they're like, oh man, this is not going well. Now, I think Serral's secret to success here, guys, he needs to find a hunchback who they don't let fight on the Protoss front lines. And that guy needs to be like, oi, I'll give you pleasure and status and all sorts of awesomeness in my weird harem. And if that guy can tell Serral a secret backdoor into Classic's base, then maybe he can use that to win, right? Because if he finds a secret way around... And speaking of secret spies, we got some secret spies here. Having a little discussion. Classic says no. There's a new one always, though, guys. 16 Void Rays, guys. 184 army supply to 172. Serral is waiting for an opportunity. He is poking. He is prodding. He's removing Classic's infrastructure and map control. Looking for an opening. Guys, this is not the last series today. Mana right now is like waiting in the wings for the loser of this match. And he's like, dude, they're going to be so tired. This is awesome. He's like, dude, I can... He's like, yeah, all right. He's having a foot massage. He's putting his feet up. He's chilling. Oh, good links around. He's going to take out 3 Archons. Oh, if he gets the High Templar, that'd be... Oh, he only gets one Archon. Okay, not as good as I thought it would be. But these Lings will get caught by the Observer. He's going to take this base down here as well. Hopefully Mana doesn't have like plans or a life or anything, guys. Winner of this match does get first place in the group. Second will get second place. Every match matters, remember. First place much better than second place in the group, so winning this match really matters for both players. Serral, if he can close this game out, it's over. If Classic can make a miraculous comeback against a 30,000 resources bank, it'll be amazing. Oh, the Lings aren't going to stop, though. You see, just by creating... You know what Serral's doing, guys? He's creating small trades without headbutting. There's no way to lose if you just keep grinding him down and slowly leveraging your bank against your opponents. You know, he doesn't want to risk front-on direct warfare at combat. But he could fund... I don't know. Oh, nice fungals, dude. Beautiful fungals. And Classic's trying to fight here. The Templar's getting some good value, but I think Serral's too far forward. He didn't have an Overseer with his Broodlords. He went a bit far forward, does lose a few units. He's got to be careful, mate. He's going to have to pull back, but it's okay. He has to avoid frontal conflict. They can't declare war front on, but it's okay. He's funding up here these Taliban Zerglings. It's the 1980s. Classic is Russia. Afghanistan's not going well for them, specifically because these naughty Zerg Americans straight out of Texas keep on giving them Stinger missiles and lots of like AKs and guns and weapons and stuff. It's crazy, man. The Zerg CIA is up in their business right now. I think Serral's got this now. Recall comes in, but the space is going to go down. It does feel like he's grinding his opponent down. But I'm waiting for Classic to show he can win a fight. He hasn't shown that in a while. There's 13 Broodlords once again. Looking for the fungal. Doesn't quite land it. Lings are back in. Single Void Ray ain't really going to defend this. Templar Archive is going to go down. The Lings are straight back in there. And without a recall, Void Ray, I mean, it's going to very slowly kill all the Zerglings, but that's only after every building goes down. Such good trading for Serral. Look, he's up 8,000 in the resources lost. He's trading 8,000 resources better than his opponent. And if he can get a few Abducts or a few fungal parasitic bombs, those Void Rays will rip apart. Chat says he ain't winning a fight. Oh, not just chat. Rainer says he's not going to win a fight with 17 Void Rays. This is the problem with pro gamers, guys. They have not watched 4v4 ladder. I have seen what 17 Void Rays can do to a 4v4 ladder, okay? You don't realize, because you haven't been playing the peak level of StarCraft. Oh, nice neural ambush. Very nice. Does pull those Archons in close. Corruptors. He's not getting in with his Corruptors. Serral slight miss micro at the end of this grueling series. Lings find the right side, getting it on that base at the same time. Serral says, attack into me on creep, walk into my spells. Oh, you're not willing to, it's okay, my Lings are in your back door again. These Tally Zerg are doing incredibly well, man. Holy shizzle fizz. Kicking up a hornet's nest. Classic, he's low on cash, he's down to 3 probes, he's desperately trying to probe up this base and rebuild it, but like, he's got no infrastructure, he can't even spend the money that he has. He's going to have to spend his money just rebuilding to try and get a Templar Archives or something like that. And Serral, I told you guys, a lot of people want to stab or shoot. Serral walks into the StarCraft match, and other people go, what's your weapon? They lay down a gun, they lay down a sword. Some people pull out some crazy stuff like a hedge clipper or just like a kitchen knife. You're like, okay, that's not the most normal weapon. Serral pulls out sandpaper every single time, and he's like, it's all I need. And you're like, okay, I mean, that seems like not the most effective weapon. And then you watch the man literally start just going ham on your face until your nose is gone. Your face gets friggin' slowly sanded down until you're a featureless mannequin of a human. You used to have facial features, now you're a mannequin. He literally sandpapers you. He's the most patient Zerg in the world. He's the greatest player of all time, and it is always your job to beat him, never his job to beat you. And he does it so bloody well. Broodlord's coming in with a spready, nice fungals. Oh, can he get some good shots? He's going to go for it. Serral landing some Omega fungals. Parasitic bomb on the Tempest. Broodlords go very far forward. He's so afraid of competing with his corrupts. He doesn't want to beat Storm. Mama goes down real fast. Dude, the Tempests are getting savaged by that fungal parasitic bomb. And here we go. The Void Rays are going to try to chase, but another parasitic bomb fungal combo goes down. The Void Rays are chasing into Pain Town right now. Oh my lord. And Serral, when almost all of the Storm is gone, then he turns, but he sees there's still one High Templar. He needs to kill that last High Templar. If that's gone, his Corruptors will fight. But there's one High Templar, and he refuses to fight into Psystorm. His Corruptors are like, no, we're waiting until that last High Templar is dead. Only then will we think about it. Now, somehow Classic has probed back up to 18 workers. This man has got to have lost over 100 probes this game. What do you guys think, 130? Let's check. 111. 111 probes have died to 50 drones. Dude. Oh, Serral. Guys, what? That is an illegal move. Only a man more practiced with sandpaper than the dude from the Ali G movie that was blind and his job was to polish fence posts. Only that man could polish knobs more smoothly than Serral could. Wow, that was a reference that popped into my head. Oracle's going to pull back there. The Tempest trying to pick off those Broodlords. The Corruptor's still dancing forward, keeping him pinned in his corner. He's got to try and take that gas as well. Dude, I love that Serral is still just like, lol, I'm stealing your bases. Remember I talked about how this map, guys, the Zerg's not meant to be able to control these 2 middle bases? He is stealing Classic's middle base. I'm not good. I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to refer to what Serral has done in this game as asserting dominance. This man has just shown that he is the king of late game Zerg versus Protoss. He's been the king for a long time, and it's just crazy. 50 Corruptors. Now notice, unlike Sue in his famous 50 Corruptor game against Special, he has made 3-3 upgrades, not 2-0. Take notes. Corruptor Broodlord Infestor coming forward. Fungal's landing. He's going to look for some parasitic bombs as well. Oh, my lord. Oh, lord. He parasitic bomb Corruptor. absolute, utterly one-sided destruction. I mean, this series started so competitive. Serral has had to sweat it out here in the group stage of PiGFest. But at the end of the day, it ends with 2 Archons and Serral there, bigger brother in Classic, and saying, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? I mean, look at him. He looks intense. He looks stressed. The way he's playing, you think he'd be like, la 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 la. You look at his face and you're like, this man had to work for this and he's not happy about it. Classic played friggin' brilliant StarCraft today. It's just that brilliant is only brilliant and only looks brilliant when you're playing anyone that is not an unfeasibly good StarCraft player. It's just obscene. And you know, wow. What do they say? Stop glazing him. Stop glazing him. The commentator won't stop glazing him. It's okay, guys. You can shut your eyes, stick your fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 I don't see anything. Serral's not that good. Serral's not that good. It's okay to be in denial. It's a choice you can make. You could even be so crazy you could think he's not the greatest player of all time. But I think at this point, I mean, after the last year of StarCraft, I think you'd be insane to still say that. But Serral gets the 3-1, goes out of the group stage like the Chad Gamar that he is. And that was, wow, just Serral showing dominance. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play. And an absolute Chad gamer. Up tens of thousands in the resources, lost at the end. 15,000 to be exact, guys. GG, well played. All right, GG, well played. Dude, that was exhausting. Holy crud. I mean, this is, at this point, it's a love affair between you and slowly grinding Protoss players down and saying, I will refuse to give in. It feels like these situations, when I look at them, my Zerg brain says this is unwinnable. And then you do, I don't know if it's like a magic trick you have. I don't know if you're injecting some hacks into the game. How are you winning these late games? What is your goal? How do you stay calm and focused? Like, how do you turn these games into wins? Because it just feels so hard to play that late game.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for sure. I think just put, well, I mean, first of all, you'll all have to split the map, that's for sure. Otherwise, it never goes anywhere. To be honest, it doesn't matter how well you trade. But yeah, I don't know. I guess a lot of it just comes down to keeping them occupied with something. Even this game, like I try to Nidus all the time and that stuff. So the Tempest are not shooting because in a way they're like free units if you let them shoot you all the time. So it's just try to keep them occupied and split them up there and try to get a decisive fight victory. But I actually think I had a lot of opportunities this game, but I never had any detection with my True Lords basically. So I feel like I almost lost all my Infestors or something. I guess maybe should have like one overseer just clicked with the True Lords or the same hotkey with them, because this didn't really work out too well.
Yeah, I think those are the few mistakes that were visible. There was a few moments where I was like, oh, you're going to wreck this army. You're kind of, like, it looked like good fights for you. And then I was like, oh, we can't attack anything because of Cloak. Uh-oh. But, you know, it was otherwise pretty good. I like your description, though. If you just sit there, like the Tempests are just going to hit you. So you're trying to use the Nidus Worms. You're trying to use your mobility. Essentially, you're playing a game of cat and mouse, a game of hit and run. Where I guess if you fight in one position, Tempests are always going to win with the range advantage, right? So you're constantly just kind of hit somewhere, he moves to respond, you run away. You Nidus Worm here, you Nidus Worm there, and I guess it's just like an extended game of you doing that and trying to find small good fights without ever standing and facing off with him. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think if I can force a fight with that army that I had there, like, for the last 15 minutes, I can probably take it. It's just very hard to force a fight when they can just do the time warp and a couple storms. Well, they can just shoot with the Tempest, and then if you start chasing, or you get like a fungal, then they can just drop down the time warp and the storms, and it's very hard to ever chase. So I think if you actually would get like a big fight just going at any point, it's usually pretty good as long as you have enough on the air. In Corruptors, but getting those fights is hard. But I guess, yeah, earlier before you get that final army comp, you kind of just want to have him in his base sitting.
Indeed, dude. Well, I think it started off very stressful for you. I remember, like, you had a pretty stressful series with Trigger last PiGFest. I think this was the hardest group stage we've ever seen for you in PiGFest, probably, in terms of like the series against Mana was incredibly close and tight as well. Did that shock you that you had to fight so hard? And like, how did you feel on that Leylines game when you were stuck on 54 drones massing Mutalisks against a 4-base Protoss?
Yeah, I didn't feel too good after the all-in failed for sure. I think if he would have just went a couple of Stargate fleet back on there, it's pretty much a done deal, probably. Yeah, it was stressful for sure. I mean, I know the build mana plays, so it wasn't surprising or anything. And I did have a close series with him in some other event as well, like maybe 2-3 months ago. He was playing the same stuff back then as well. So yeah, I mean, it's. I think I don't really know how to crack his build. I guess that's what the conclusion is here. So it's a little bit hard because I feel like you kind of have to all in always. But then if the all in doesn't work, then maybe it's not the solution. But at the same time, maybe just some sharper timings there would have done it.
Maybe. Obviously, it's so tricky to commit to those things in the heat of the moment, and it has been a bit of a nice, a difficult game to pick the timings. We saw Rogue really struggle yesterday against Zaun, and a few different players struggling, but it does seem like your late game prowess is keeping you very, very competitive in Zerg versus Protoss when a lot of players are struggling. So it could be congrats to you on that. It was a long series, so I don't want to keep you too long. This is probably pretty grueling way to start the day. But yeah, who are you excited to face off with? I mean, obviously we talked to you after last PiGFest finals. You did manage to beat Clem in a big best of 9. Is there a party that's like, hey, let's hope we face Clem all the way in the finals again? Is there any other players like rivalries you're looking to put to rest or anything like that? Or like what are you mostly any statements that you want to make in the playoffs now that you're qualified?
No, not really. I don't. There's no statements to be made right now, at least. But yeah, it's all of the matches are hard. It's not easy going right now for sure. So it's anyone who I get there should be pretty difficult. I think it's actually I think I'm playing the Group D winner, which is the double Zerg group. So might be a CVC there, which would be interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few pretty dicey options there. Because what are you? Your Group B first place. Yeah, I'm not actually. A Group A first place. Sorry. Yeah, Group D first place. Yeah, so Rainer, Dark, Estrella, Bunny, whoever comes out of that group in first place. According to the Wikipedia, I'll have to confirm that's correct. Usually it's correct, but we'll double check with our admin as well afterwards. So I remember last time it showed the wrong matchup, so we'll confirm that. We'll confirm that later to make sure. So don't hold me to that just yet. But anyways, that should be awesome, dude. Big congrats on getting through your bracket. Really well played, and we look forward to seeing you in the playoffs once again. See if you can go from winning 60% of all PiGFests. If you win this one, it'll be 66.66% dominance over this tournament. So if you win this one, you're gonna get to a 2/3 majority. Hope you can do it. Continue your good games. But I'm sure Clem's looking towards his first PiGFest. Hero's been very dangerous lately as well. So I look forward to whatever matches end up coming. And yeah, thanks so much for playing today, mate. It was a real blast to watch.
Yeah, thank you for the tournament as always. We'll see. I might be satisfied with the 50% win rate in PiGFest. I think it sounds nice as well. But we will see that later on.
Much love, dude. All right, well, have a great night. Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye-bye.